Well, the thing is whenever there's all the requests for go to the chair and goes to chair, and we had told them, why don't you just spread them out on all the precincts that we all have?
It was
We wanted them all
interesting.
there.
We had a lot because we had the governor there. So the governor came.
Well, I suppose.
Sure, we had the governor and Kevin.
Guess that's their home precinct, isn't it?
And then all of her entourage were there. But
How's Kevin doing? We'll leave it at that.
looks great. I mean,
He was there.
oh yeah, it looks good.
We could start, First gonna make it, or?
No,
Oh,
no.
okay. All right. Well, I don't want
We
to.
recorded one.
It's on, but there's a button. It's going, so, all right, I'll call us to order. Can I have a roll call, please?
Clifton.
Here.
Fitch.
Here.
Stansel. Here.
All present, can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Motion by Diane, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Heather, any further discussion? If not, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Public comment, anyone wish to comment this morning? Seeing none, we'll move on to the courthouse renovation work session. Miss, you wanna start us off? Or Jeff?
All right, so our punch list, I went through pretty much everything that he had came up with extra study, stain, sand, putty. The south doors, we have the automatic openers. The people are gonna be here Thursday. And I got an electrician to be here with them to make sure hopefully everything goes smooth and we get everything hooked up for that. The south doors, the threshold, and the spindle wasn't long enough. We have to have one reordered. They're supposed to be in by Friday. We're supposed to ship, so maybe by first part of next week.
Stop?
Yeah.
Spindle? Okay.
Then the vestibule doors there, I've got the push plate, and I scratched one when I was drilling them. That's supposed to be shipped with the threshold, and so hopefully by the first part of next week.
Is that the push plate that has 2 holes in it?
Yep. Yep, I was, for the pull plate, you have to have holes, they didn't have them, so I had to drill them out. While I was drilling it, it spun and scratched it, so I ordered a new one.
Oh,
So that just needed to be taken off and new one put on.
okay.
And then the glass will be able to be installed once we get the closure on, then them doors should be ready.
Have you guys figured out the issue with the side light glass?
I told the glass guy about it, he's gonna look at it when they're down here.
Okay.
To see if it's something that, they can polish it or what the deal is with it. They didn't really know what it was. He wanted me to send a picture and I really couldn't get a picture with the light, it wouldn't show
I
on
tried
the
to wash
picture.
it and I can't get that off.
Yeah. Yep, I looked at it with Steve and we tried to rub it down, I don't know
It's
what it
easier to
is.
see it when the
Yeah.
in the afternoon when the sun's coming in and you haven't had sun.
It looks
Yeah.
like, it looks like dust in, I know it's not double pane window, but it looks like
it's.
it does, but it's not double pane.
Yeah.
Something the glass company was seen before they can
Yeah,
rectify it.
so, yeah, I couldn't send him a picture, it wouldn't, couldn't pick it up in a picture, so,
You almost can't see it unless it's sun on it.
yeah. Changed out the brake, I put a astragal down on the basement window and then changed out the sweeps on the basement, so that basement door is sealed in now. I don't think we're having a problem with it. I talked to Keith about the wiring down in the basement, and he says that's low voltage, and he was planning on just zip tying it to an existing conduit to run it back. it's low voltage, it don't need to be in, it don't need to be in,
And what's this
conduit.
for?
The wiring that's hanging down there, that they went and ran a temp wire
Oh,
for
okay.
the pump
For the ramp?
for the ramp, yeah. So he's gonna tie that up and make it neat. Low voltage, it don't need to be in conduit. So,
Did we figure out, what the specs were on the ramp? If it asked for more sensors, or we had the right amount of sensors, we talked about that for last meeting. I know Rick said he was gonna look at the original specs. Do we know if that happened?
Yeah, I looked at specs and drawings and I couldn't see where it said a number, so, I'll have to rely on the engineer and whatever they said.
So is the ramp working?
Says the panel's working, but the ramp's covered with ice and the drains are full of ice. So I guess
No.
working, no.
Okay, so maybe we do need more sensors.
Oh,
That's the case.
Well, it's gonna call for heat, I don't know the sensors, but it might need more heat to it.
It's got plenty of heat. If I put more heat to it, it's gonna damage the decks. I spoke to the guy yesterday morning.
Okay, so how do we work through that?
I think it might be an extreme temperature.
No,
It was
the
working,
drain-
it was
the
working
drains
good
are-
in the first snow.
It did, it was great too, is that even that pretty cold day, I walked on it and it was perfect.
I did something for the engineer to look up why the drains are packed full of ice.
Yeah, I think we need to ask that question, because it's not gonna be the first winter we
No,
have.
we're gonna have brutal.
Yes,
cold
so
generally
can
happens
we
every-
look into that? Figure out how to address that issue?
Coordinating
How long has it been?
Well, it was good last Tuesday, it was cold, but after this bitter cold, it's kind of a sheet of ice and it is filled in, so, it's been since.
It was all ice yesterday morning, I called JB. He had me manually go in and turn up the temp, or then it was thawing, but like I said, now this morning half of it's ice and the drains are full of ice. And
So when you say the actual ramp is icy, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, so something's not melting, if the drains are one thing, but the ramp, if it's still icy, that means something's not working, right?
Or it's designed, I don't know what it's designed to heat to, but it's not, you know, if it's 40 and the temperature's sub-zero, it might not be able to get there.
Well, it defeats the purpose of having it if it
Yeah,
doesn't
we'll
work.
look at it.
So, okay.
Do we wanna start on this, Phil,
We
and
kinda-
talk to Jeff?
We've kind of done, we kind of hit B and C, D. We got the
How about,
relocate the condensing unit on the second floor or cover that up, or the punch list, that's where we're at right now, I think, unless you guys
so
have
we'll
something
do A,
else.
you want possibility that Excel could relocate?
What's that about? Because we were told originally that that can't be moved. This is the one on the south portico?
Yes.
Okay, so we originally, reason why we did all that hullabaloo about the piping is we were told that that couldn't be moved, so now we're saying it can be moved?
Excel, guy from Excel told me it can be relocated and all the lines, we're gonna have to go drop ceiling and everything, but I don't.
Okay, so why are we discovering this now? Is that the case? Can we do that?
They were looking into it the last time I talked to them, I haven't, heard, like Chip's heard more than I have, so, I'll get with them and see what their thoughts are. I know he mentioned that was an option at one point, right, 2 weeks ago when I talked to him.
All right, let's follow up on that.
Let's
Mitch.
follow up on that, because I need to understand why all of a sudden this has changed, because originally we were told we couldn't do that, so.
All right, back to the punch list then.
This is what Rick sent.
Is this new since the last
Yeah,
time we
and
saw?
I sent it to you.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
What?
I'm looking at it right now.
His copy's right there too.
She copied it for you. And then we asked for an updated Excel spreadsheet, but he's not where he can send it, and we didn't know he wasn't coming. But Mitch is, or you're probably gonna have to answer it since he's not here.
Jeff's
Jeff's
gone
working
through
on this stuff, right?
everything.
Jeff's got more,
Yeah,
except the
they
outside
have-
cold stuff.
That was on ours, yeah.
So we can, I have it right here, we can just walk through it. Spreadsheet. Okay, so we'll just start at the top. First one, seal cheek wall to stair. that was done.
I think everyone else is looking at this one.
I know, but this is the original punch sheet on the substantial completion that they still had left, other than the exceptions, obviously, for the south door, and they were supposed to work through this. Is this my understanding, we're supposed to get an update from Rick
And
regarding
we
this?
didn't, we got this.
Right,
Well, let's
so,
work off this for now, since we don't have a current one of those.
Yeah, that one, that's old, yeah, and that's.
well, I
been-
know, but this is the one we wanted to update, and this doesn't line up with the spreadsheet, so.
Okay, all right.
But
So,
Well, the spreadsheet's not updated, nobody else has it, so let's work through the one that was current that was sent out this morning.
okay,
I think
so
everybody
start at
has.
106. Let's start, oh, here, you want this? I've got it on the computer.
No, I've got it written down, I've got notes,
Okay.
so,
So let's just start at putty sand, add stain, 106, is that,
yeah, that's a small courtroom upstairs, north window. So, yeah, I've already taken care of that, yeah.
107.
Then the west window in the same room.
you fixed it?
Yeah, yeah. Went through and restained some of these, you know, some of the colors of the plugs were different, you know. Just put a little sand, a little stain on them and, touch them up the best you can.
Let's go to 108, refinish and plug nail holes.
Yep,
And all the same stuff, different windows, isn't it?
yeah. The problem with them windows up there, the mullion was, the centerpiece on them, they had to put trim screw, a big headed trim screw to hold that mullion in, so you had a bigger, a hole than what you normally, so they put a plug in there to try to, and the plugs were different grain, different, they took the stain different, so I had them drill them out, put a little putty in there to try to, the putty was a closer color than actual wood, even though it's the same wood. You've seen the mahogany takes, there's multiple different colors in the grain of the mahogany, so if you put a plug in, a lot of places they didn't match in color.
Well, a lot of times the plugs are end grains, they're.
Yep, yep.
So was that 123?
Yeah, well, that was the magistrate, that was just,
The other three previous ones, those were pretty much the same.
Yeah, so.
yeah, that was the break room, the north break room up there. And then the magistrate was, one of the bucks was actually a lighter color. There again, the mahogany, you know, the color and the grain are different. I put another coat of stain over the top of it, darkened it up so it's closer to,
when you say stain, you mean clear coat, right?
it's stain, it's actually a stain,
It's got
and it
color.
went over the clear coat with, and then revarnish it over the top. So it darkens it up and
Darkens up
The patch.
the wood.
the patch. So you
Yeah.
just stained the patch, not the actual mahogany, right? Because we weren't supposed to have any stain
Well,
on
that's not gonna
mahogany,
take
it's
a stain
supposed to
if it's
be,
got poly on it.
No.
right.
Yeah,
Because the mahogany, we're just supposed to have a clear poly, we weren't supposed to do any stain on
yeah,
it.
exactly.
All right, 123.
123,
That was the magistrate, so yeah, that's,
that's done.
yeah.
159, finished door trim, south
The
doors.
south doors, and I just gave you an update on that, and, we get the automatic door closures, we've already got all the big trim pieces, we've got them pre-cut, ready to go on, and as soon as we get the closure on, it should be pretty quick work to go ahead and finish trimming them out, and finish up all the woodwork.
So it's in progress, got it.
160.
Add varnish to even color.
And that was in your guys' office, so I done the best, you know, for what we could do there, same deal. And then,
Install vestibule doors. I'd say that's in
vestibule doors, I just gave you an update on that. We get the closure on, we'll be able to get the glass put in, finish them up. I've got the new push plate coming.
Okay.
169's been done,
And if we talk about,
condensation lines you just talked about.
you cover and remove it.
185's the roofing, we know,
Yep, that's to be
spring.
71 would be the same thing, I believe.
See, 70 is spring and 71 is spring.
72,
Several are.
yes.
2, 3, 4,
72 is spring, 73 is.
185. All right, 186, we're back to interior stuff.
Yeah, I redone that, that was in the, HR office. Said it was sounding poorly, and I called him, like, the picture he sent, I was like, oh, this looks fine, I don't understand, and we gave me the wrong window number, so it made sense once I found the right window, and I sanded that and refinished it yesterday.
187.
That was in my office, it was the windows are dirty, I cleaned, I cleaned them up, a lot of it's, exterior dirt, so, but the interiors are cleaned, so.
188, the same thing?
Yep. Cleaning the windows.
And you're still working in there, aren't you, with all that wood on the floor?
Yeah, that's all the pieces I was saying are pre-cut and ready to go up. All that will be put on that south door once, there are a few extra pieces, and then some of that wood is, that opening, extra, the wood from the pipes going up the wall, that, it's not going back in, so.
189, sand, salt, room, where's this at?
That's in the vault room, it's the new wood that we put in the vault room. And there was a little bit down across the bottom, and I took the sander, got in there and sanded it down, and re-wanted sand on.
So there were, that's the vault room in the office we've been using.
Yeah.
CICS.
The back room, the new trim, one of the pieces that had a, when it was cut, it had a burn mark, where you run it through the table saw. And I was able to get in there the best I could with the sandpaper and sand it down and re.
So some of all that new trim, I've noticed there's cracks in it, in the wood. Has that been looked at yet?
I don't know if you're seeing the grain, some of the grain, it looks like it's a crack, but I haven't seen any cracks, if that's what,
Okay,
we're talking about the same thing.
all right.
It was one of these numbers.
Okay.
190, replace oak trim.
Yeah, it was a lighter color, and I went ahead and like I say, I restained it and brung it to the same color as the rest of it and brung it up without having to replace it.
That wood always was a change, it faded in there, I thought, was the sun. Did you think that?
Well, it's gonna be really hard to match new wood.
Yes, it is, yeah, it is.
Okay, 191.
That was what we were talking about. There's a grain that runs up through there. It's a wider grain, and if you're standing on the ground, you look at it, it looks like it's cracked, but if you get up on it, it's actually grain. It's white grain in the wood.
Okay,
And I went ahead and I hit that with another coat of stain to darken it up to kind of match it, blend it in a little better.
okay.
So it,
192. Putty fill to match door color.
what was that?
192, putty fill to match door color.
This is
The
the
vestibule
vestibule
door.
door with all the filled holes, there's like 5.
Oh, that one, we've already talked about it. Without ruining them doors, there's no way we can get that, drill that filler out and do anything with it, so. We've already talked about the knots on the door.
We talked about the one, but once the doors were up, I noticed 4 more on that same door.
Yeah, and they're a lot
Because the
smaller.
other door doesn't have any.
Yeah.
So, in a very noticeable.
Yeah, well, we discussed the knots before, and, about every door in the building has knots that's been filled, so, I don't know, we aren't gonna make it look any better if we tried to do anything with it, we're just gonna ruin the doors, or if we try to do something with it, it's
Gonna
gonna,
draw more attention to it, aren't you?
Yeah.
it's gonna draw a lot more.
Unless we make a new door with no knots in it, correct?
There's not gonna be no such thing as a wood without knots in it. It's gonna be, it's white oak, it's knotty wood, it's gonna have knots, so.
Well, you could get pieces that don't have knots in them before you put the door down.
Well, you order the pieces, they're special order pieces, when they come in, they're not gonna sort through and try to make a non-knotty.
It's kind of a reverse jigsaw puzzle,
Yeah.
Find the pieces that work best and.
Yeah,
Because
you
I know
work
they do
with
that at the
wood.
Capitol, they sort the wood and they don't use knotty wood at the Capitol. When they do replacement for their restoration, they don't do that. They send the pieces back if they have knots in them.
Well, maybe they've got a lot more to where they can sort through, and maybe they've got something scheduled for that, and.
Working on a white oak project myself, and I fully understand. 193.
Southeast
That's the
corner
wiring in the
basement.
basement that I told you Keith's gonna take a look at when he's here on Thursday.
So I just need zip tied up to something.
Yeah,
So Keith will fix this?
yeah.
All right.
Okay, 194.
That was the basement threshold, and we had already, that's something that Chip and I had looked at. The threshold that they had ordered for it, it was about an inch tall and it had a half-inch saddle across it. And with them moving pallets in and out, it would have hung up pallet. They'd have never been able to get pallets through there. So we changed the threshold out to a flat threshold so they can get stuff in and out.
Does it
Should be
leak?
designed.
What's that?
Is that gonna stop the leakage?
Yeah, we've got the new threshold put on there. It's a rubber, the sweeps we had feather sweeps, so it was able to blow through. We put rubber sweeps on and bring it down tight onto there, so.
So you don't.
We're an inch and a half higher than what it was before.
And you also changed that, yours, replaced that pad, right? Because it was sloping towards the building.
Yep.
You already replaced
Yeah,
that?
we tore that out and redone all that,
Okay.
so.
All right, well, and if the new ramp set door will be used a lot less than it ever did before, is that true?
What's that?
That basement door will get used a lot less than it did before, I would think.
Well, I have a couple judges and their recorder still actually uses it. But hopefully if the ramp's up to where it is, I mean,
Okay.
195 is spring, right?
195.
What is it?
Finish on the cylinder, looks for
That's the basement door where we put the cylinder on. So when they put the new cylinder, we put the
You
new
already
cylinder
corrected
on.
it? Did you correct, oh, you've already corrected it.
All right, Ballard's 196.
We got new ones
New
coming.
one's coming? Yeah, looks like those guys back at the truck or something.
Do we know when those will be here?
Probably next week.
Would you take a picture of them as soon as you take them out and install them? And so, or let us look at them, because to prove that nobody's out there doing
Yep.
I don't think that's what happened to these, 'cause they're patched, Diane, so that was,
That's
no one's gonna
fine.
go out there and patch them.
That's fine, but, we'll look at them before they.
Yeah, 197 condenser line cover. That's the south window, kind of like that other one, right?
It's the exact same thing. As I told him, he duplicated that one, so. I
So
closed
it's
that
done?
off the
Well, it's not
function.
done, but it was on the previous
Yeah.
punch list item.
He had done that multiple times.
Concrete sidewalk patching.
Lunch was. Where are you at?
198, concrete sidewalk patching.
Yeah, he just said it's an atypical pattern, the pictures that he took, there's no pattern to the concrete.
He doesn't like the little miscolored triangles. And things.
I
Now,
don't
that
like
triangle
that.
was something that, Lincoln's crew had done when they were doing the exterior sidewalk. There's a little piece, I don't know how, that they
These
built.
triangles are on the interior, they wouldn't have been done by the guys on
You
the
talking about
outside.
the rectangle?
The rectangle. Oh, I'm sorry, okay.
Okay,
The rectangle is the one that they had done. The triangles we did, but,
oh, okay, I see.
the tips had broke off. They, basically didn't put, dowels in when they done it, so we cut them off. The one we came off the point, the other one we squared off, and points are typical breaking point, you know, so we squared it off so that if it would happen again, it would be
more easily repaired.
easily repaired.
So what's his complaint, is that it doesn't match the colors?
Well, it should have been,
No,
there's a couple things, the colors, because I pointed it out to Rick, that the concrete wasn't stained. And then also there usually you do a whole slab, not a little piece in the corner there. And you're saying the corner piece is, that you did that because you figured that if they'll break again, it'll be easier to.
If it broke again, that's where it's gonna break. And the pieces are, they cut them in 4-foot sections, and then the corner pieces, they're 4 foot plus the tip, so they're like 5 foot plus. So squared them off, and then that way, if that points would ever break again, it would be in.
But this
And
rectangular.
it limited how much concrete we had to tear out and patch, and then, at that point, they only had like 2 yards of the colored concrete left. So trying to keep it minimal, we had a block on the west side, and we had these 2 points that
So
we
you're
had to
saying these
replace.
points are not stained, they're not stained.
Well, they're not
No,
stained,
they
obviously.
only had 2 yards of colored concrete left. So I'm trying to keep it under 2 yards, so when we done.
So you did
it
the
was-
points.
Yeah.
But he's saying this is to be discussed with landowners, so.
Well, okay, I'm helping you understand, I don't understand, what is it? I don't understand, why would the not having enough concrete be a reason to not use stained concrete when that's what we ordered?
No, we did use stained concrete.
Okay.
We didn't take out the whole block because the block
Oh, I
itself
see.
would have been a 5 foot by 4 foot section. So I tried to minimize how much, because the cracks were right at the very end, I tried to minimize how much concrete that we took out.
Okay.
And you see how the concrete, the different color because it was poured at different times. So you're gonna have a big patch, a big patch, a big patch, just a small patch, and
Well, the reality is, nothing you're gonna do about it now, and when they bring the lift in to work on the
They're
steel
gonna break
stuff,
it all up
there might be
anyway.
some more concrete.
Sure.
so
When he
you're probably
fixes
gonna have
5
to order some
things.
more coloring, and then at different time of year, you've seen
Yeah.
the color is different. so.
I don't dislike the little triangle, for me.
Well, it probably, for me, it probably bothered me less if it wasn't just so ta-da on your face, because the color is so stark.
Well, when they fix all those 5 things, I'll probably gonna break those.
Yeah, well, we'll just pump the brakes on that until we're done.
Yeah, there'll be
Maybe messing
multiple
stuff up.
different places,
Okay.
I'm sure. that you're
One
gonna have
ninety-nine,
to-
clean white spots from handrail on.
That's in the spring, I think.
Yeah, that's the spring, it has to be over 50 degrees for 2 days.
Be nice to see that. Crack in top coat at top rise or other cracks observed at other porticos, review and repair all, what is that?
That's the cracks in the topping, and we talked to Scribner, he's supposed to get in and take a look at it and see what he can do to fix that.
With the Scribner deal and also gonna be a spring deal.
Yeah, it'll be a spring.
Did he say we can add more grit to it, Tony, or did you ask him?
I don't know.
He told me it is the same grit he's always used, that's what he said.
It's not the same as what they took off. That's what I'm saying.
No.
Who done it the last time, do you know?
Rich out the bottom weeks.
Yeah, it's probably,
What
how
about,
long ago was it, 10 years ago?
Oh, it's been way longer than that.
Oh, yeah,
$2,000.
15.
Well, that's long before Scribner even done coatings like that, so it wasn't Scribner, so.
could be a
whoever
different
done it.
standard now. Grit.
All right. Mitch and Jeff, do you guys have anything else?
So, there's that big crack, that's almost a little over a quarter-inch wide. It's a little triangle angle on the top slab of the south portico. Is that gonna be repaired?
Don't know what now?
Okay, there's a crack on the top stoop, basically the top slab of the south portico. When you're looking at the steps from the south side, you can see it. There's a pretty large crack there in the south slab. Is that gonna be
I think it's already been filled, I don't. we
As
have
of
to
last
take a
week,
look.
it wasn't, so.
Okay, you can show the, I mean, we'll see, see if there's anything to do with
Okay,
So Diane, would you mind if Rick can give us an updated spreadsheet
I've asked him
on
to.
that?
I asked him, he just
Because I
is not in the
noticed that,
state.
yeah, I noticed the numbers, I don't know why they're not in order, but they're not in order, and there's more on here than on here. So I don't know if you added, subdivided and added more numbers or.
He did.
You did,
Mhm.
okay. So
That's
maybe the
supposed-
numbers have changed on here to this.
Well, as I say, he duplicated a lot of them, they didn't backtrack, they went in
They didn't
and done.
backtrack to this.
Yeah, they done a final punch walk and then they never looked back, so I was like,
Oh,
Jimmy, this is a duplicate, Jimmy, this is a duplicate, you know, 197 matches 161.
oh, okay, that's why I've been having trouble tracking this with this. Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
So how do you want it to read? Please send updated spreadsheet. You want it in order,
Well, this is what we included when we did the substantial completion, and that's what I assumed this would be. This is, I mean, I like the pictures and the information, so that's very helpful. I just wanna be able to track this easily, is what's outstanding, what was done, what's the difference between here and here.
So you use that to do that, so that is the final, the one you have there.
This is
Yeah,
the
with
final?
the pictures, yes. He used that to go and
And
find,
expand this.
it's more of a detailed,
Okay.
Yeah.
Because there's
he
punch
broke
list
down what they
numbers.
are with pictures and, which is actually on our Procore, but you don't see that, so we print them off
Yeah,
and with the description.
because there's numbers on here that are not on here, and
They
there's numbers on
added some
here that
more.
are not on here.
They added some more when they done their final walk. And
Okay. Okay.
So I'm gonna ask for an updated spreadsheet, and I want him to state if it's passed. I mean, I think it's due.
Right, if it's, because it also has on here, you know, location, trade, and, you know, if it's location, trade, reference, priority on the spreadsheet, and on here, it gives an update where it says due date, status, like work required, it says on number 107, it says work
Yeah.
required. Does that mean that you guys are still working on it?
Yeah, well, that was, I've worked on them all since then.
Since he provided
Yeah.
this? Okay.
He sent me that last week, I came down at the end of last week and started working on it, I've been working on it for, you know,
Okay.
try to get everything
Okay.
caught up before the meeting
So is
today,
he gonna
I-
provide an updated, which ones are still outstanding, which are completed, or is that something you're gonna do?
Yeah, there are already, what you have there is actually a print off of Procore, what's still open on Procore, you can
Okay.
go ahead
Well, I don't have access to that, but,
right, so but that's where he came up with that, so he,
so this will be updated in that system, and then we will get an updated sheet?
yeah, yeah, so you can print that off, and get that, probably send it to you, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
all right, Jeff and Mitch, do you have anything else?
You don't have to state it.
Well, I'm not gonna stay for approving that maintenance
Oh,
bond.
yeah,
That's
we
true.
need to talk about that, because Erin sent an email regarding some concerns she had.
Well, we addressed those concerns last Tuesday, so I think we're ready to go on that. Let's talk about the public health one first. You get everything resolved on that then, Ryan? I know you and Aaron were kind of working on that.
I think for now, we're just gonna continue, hopefully to hire Mike under
Public health,
public
because
health
it'll take
and then work out the
It'll take
details.
approval from public health to switch that back, is that, do I understand that right? Or the ordinance states that it's under public health?
No, I think there's just, Aaron said there's a lot more to do to move it from public health to zoning. So what we're gonna do is get Mike hired and get him working, and then we can try to
We can
figure
worry
that
about the
out.
details as we
Yeah,
move forward.
yeah.
That sounds good to me. That being the case, can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Diane, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Heather, any further discussion? If not, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And the next is a resolution regarding the maintenance bond on the marina.
So, Erin forwarded to you, because I had some, just clarification questions on there, one of which is, I caught that they had exclusion language on the south portico top slab, in addition to the east stoop, because at the time it wasn't poured yet. But yet it has the top portico slab pour date on there, so I don't know if we were intentionally excluding the top portico top slab, or that was just an error. I mean, I don't think we should, considering there's a crack in it. So I asked that question, I couldn't recall what our discussion was, if we had just said we were gonna exclude it. So she said we could discuss it again.
The last discussion we had was we were going to clarify that the coating wasn't covered, but the ramp was, and also put the greater of replacement value or the dollar amount underneath the base.
Right, I know, but this, not the last conversation, I'm saying previous conversations, did we agree that it was gonna be the whole stairs?
No. I don't,
I don't believe
The
so.
whole south
We're talking
stairs?
about the ramps.
Because on here it said west ramp pour date, east ramp pour date, top portico slab pour date, stair pour date. And we were gonna include the stairs, and that includes the top slab. But yet in the language, it says we're gonna exclude the top portico slab, and that already has a 1/4 inch crack in it. So, my fault for not noticing it, but, I don't recall us ever excluding the top portico slab in the original discussion.
We've hashed and rehashed this for months, and I thought at our last meeting, we reached a final conclusion on it.
Well, I'm sorry, Phil, that I missed this, all three of us missed this, but the fact is I don't think we should exclude the south portico top slab. It already has a 1/4 inch crack in it.
If it has an issue with it now, that's us, that's under warranty. So
No, this is the same crack I took a picture of last fall. It's been there. It's bigger now, but it's there. So if we're gonna exclude the top portico, why would we exclude the top slab and include the rest of the stairs? Especially since there are visible cracks in all of them. Is there a reason that I don't remember that we agreed to exclude that? Because I don't recall.
Mitch, do you have any recollection of that? I'm ready to be done with this and move on.
I don't recall it either. I think it was,
No, I didn't think they were
okay
ever
with
part
it.
of the discussion, but.
I don't think so
I
either.
don't.
The stairs were always part of the discussion.
Okay.
And the assumption was the top slab is part of the stairs.
If we approve this, it will have to go to Dryholt's though.
Yep.
Phil.
I don't understand that.
Yeah.
We're,
So, and then what about the other concerns that Erin said in her email?
we addressed all this last Tuesday and we're ready to proceed.
No, we did not address this last Tuesday because Erin wasn't here last Tuesday. to
She
address it.
called on the phone.
She called you both?
She was
No.
on the telephone.
No,
Last
she did
Tuesday.
not address this last Tuesday, that she brought up on here. She did not. Because her concern was, let's see, let me get it. A concern that she has is whether the design team is sufficiently advocating for the county's interests. In my experience with our projects, engineers or project managers played a crucial role in ensuring that everything was done correctly on behalf of the owner, in this case, the county. It seems that this proactive involvement might be lacking here, raising concerns about potential missed opportunities to guarantee the proper execution of the project. I know the board has been very involved in the project, but there are inherent limitations on relying on the board and/or board members for all of the oversight. I'm not sure if this is a shared concern or not, but it's something that I've noticed that you may want to consider. This is advice from our county attorney. So, are you guys saying you want to ignore that?
We discussed this last Tuesday and we were ready to proceed.
I don't recall us discussing that, but we do have video of it, so we can refer back to it. But she has expressed concern as a county attorney. My question is, are you guys comfortable ignoring that concern and moving forward?
I don't know that we're ignoring her concerns. We were ready to move forward on this, and that was agreed to last Tuesday. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second? I will second that. Any further discussion?
No, we probably need to note in the minutes that this will have to be approval with Dryholt's.
Yeah, it's just our approval. I can't
Or-
speak
yeah.
for them.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not opposed to the warranty, I think we need the warranty. I don't think we can exclude the top portico slab that already has cracks in it. And I don't recall us ever saying that we were okay excluding that.
Okay, we've discussed this for months, if not over a year. We've gotten to this point, we have a motion and a second on the floor, any further discussion? If not, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed?
No, I'm for. I'm voting in approval.
Okay.
You were too
Voting
quick.
to approve it?
I'm voting to approve it. He was too quick when he said all opposed. He
All right.
didn't say aye.
All right, okay, motion carries. Anything else for our construction meeting?
Please note in the minutes my concern regarding the warranty. Thank you.
Okay, if there's nothing else, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So,
Motion by Diana, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Heather. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, we are adjourned, thank you.
oh,
everyone.
I need to tell both of you, tomorrow, when we're doing budgets,